Hello, this Redetangda. This is my professional portfolio design, visual and branding identity for ETHIO Jazz. So I start from introduce my festival. ETHIO Jazz Festival is a conceptual international music festival imagined to take place in London, celebrating the blend of traditional Ethiopian music and modern jazz. It inspired the work of Mulatu Astatke in 1960 in Addis Ababa. ETHIO Jazz bring together Ethiopian musical style with the creative and expressive nature of jazz. The festival branding aims to connect with cultural, curious urban audience aged 25 up to 40 who are active online, interested in music, design, and a new experience, and jazz and world music fans aged 14 up to 65 or plus who appreciate live performance and musical skill, and the Ethiopian diaspora, a cultural supporter who value representation, identity, and pride through a modern celebration of Ethiopian culture. This slide for brand positioning, brand personality, and tone of voice. For my brand positioning, ETHIO Jazz is positioned as a cultural rich and contemporary musical festival that bridge Ethiopian heritage with global jazz culture inspired by the legacy of Mulatu Astatke. The festival standard the interaction of tradition and innovation, offering an authenticate yet modern experience of diverse audience in London. Brand personality, soulful and transformative. ETHIO Jazz creates a welcoming space where diverse community come together through the shared language of music rooted in Ethiopian heritage and inspired by the legacy of Mulatu Astatke. The brand celebrates cultural pride while embracing global influence, and the tone of voice for ETHIO Jazz is bold and authentic. This slide for logo development, I start, creating graph sketching or, drawing on Procreate. So I use Procreate for this sketching. So this is my Ethiopian alphabet. I use like reference. My approach for my logo is a mix of, Ethiopian roots and the modern world of jazz. And I choose to focus on the letter T because it sounds just like the Ethiopian letter T, which is this one. By blending these two shapes together, I create a bridge between the Latin and Ge'ez alphabet. To me, this represents exactly what ETHIO Jazz is, a beautiful mix of two different culture coming through as one. I also added a special pattern inside the letter O that come from traditional Ethiopian art. I feel this gives the logo a deeper meaning showed respect for history by mixing this old pattern with a bold lettering. I have made designs that feel both classic and fresh, and this is my final logo outcome. For my mood board for my brand color choice, this is a picture I use as a reference. The story of my color, for example, Ethiopian flag and heritage, I use the classic green, yellow, and red to ground the festival in its Ethiopian roots and the cultural pride. And the city called Addis Ababa, represented by yellow. This bright yellow represents the Adeaba flower, which is this one that's bloom for the new, bringing a sense of fresh beginning to the design. And London as red. I chose this bold red because this festival was imagined in London. It represents the city energy and where the idea first started. And the warm orange, I use this as a bridge to blend red and yellow together. To me, it feels like a warm glow of jazz club or sunset that connects both city. And the blue, I added this blue to represent the cool and deep emotion of jazz music and the rhythm of black and white. I use the black and white of the piano keys to create a strong foundation, making all the other colors stand out and pop. So this is the whole my branding color, and I use a piano structure to represent my colors, and I write the color codes, and I put my logo in my three main colors, the orange one, the blue one, and the black one with a different logo color. And for my festival I use PD orange. For primary and secondary I use lights, regular and bold and black type of the fonts. And this my icons I design for my festival. My you know I create the a flower, and the eye. My approach for my icons is a mix of an ancient symbol and a modern musical energy created to act as a visual language for the festival. I chose to include the yellow Adava flowers because it's the soul of the Ethiopian New Year, bringing a sense of celebration and fresh beginning to the brand. And alongside it, I use the eye and the diamond shape motif, which I found to be powerful symbol of vision and heritage. And this is my first billboard design. For the first one, I use approach for my billboard. It's a mix of heritage and energy designed to tell a story at a single glance. I use a dark background to make the color pop, so the detail are very easy to everyone read. To me, the structure is all about balance. I split the layout into two parts to create a clean look. On the left, I place my logo in the event info with a lot of space, so it's a bold and clear. On the right side, I built, grid colorful squares to hold my icons. I feel this make a poster look like a piece of art that shows the rhythm of music by keeping the information on one side and the pattern on the other side, and made the design feel both organized and full of life. And this is my second billboard. For this one, I use approach for my billboard is a mix of bold energy, playful movement designed to catch the eye of anyone passing by. I use a vibrant orange background to give the design a warm modern feel that reflects excitement of live jazz performance by choosing such bright solid color, and I'm making sure the dark text and the pattern really stand out even from far away. To me, the heart of this design is how I use parts of my logo creates a unique pattern. I took individual letters like the J, A, and O and scattered from the across the background in ways that feel like a musical note dancing on the page. I find that deconstructed look gave the poster a sense of rhythm and the cooperation, just like jazz music. We are celebrating, and I keep the main logo and the 2026 date center and clear, so that's my message stay the main focus while scattered letters patterns add layer of artistic depths. So this my billboard on the mockup, and the second my billboard on the mockup. So, and I create four banner, but I put it only 3 1 here. For my banner, my approach for this four banner is a mix of bold arts movement using a letter for my logo and to create written pattern. I want each banner to feel like a piece of music, so I took the shapes of my letter and scattered them across the background to act as visual beats. I use my brand colors to give each artist a distinctive look, like while keeping the festival styles consist for Hilo Merga, like Merklits. I used bold red and black to show strength and urban energy. For Mulatto and Joga Mesfin, I chose the bright yellow and the blue represent soulful and celebratory side of their sound. By mixing my custom letter pattern with this specific color, I created grand stage for this legends that connects their names directly to the heart of the festival. And this is my banner on mockup, and this my tickets. For this, my approach for the ticket is a mix of high energy and the classic style of making them feel like a special souvenir of the festival. On the orange ticket, I use bright green text to make my logo, and the the year 2026 stand out with a modern electric vibe for the quiet ticket. I chose a clean look like list legendary artists like Mulatu, Haile Marigas. I work using repeating pattern of my custom letter as decorative border, and I love how to barcode and layout look like a musical rhythm, showing that every part of the festival, from the price to the performance, is built on the soul of ETHIO Jazz. And this is my ticket on mockup. And this my poster. I create 3 poster for my ETHIO Jazz Festival. For first one, my approach for this project is a mix of fun energy and simple shapes. I use a bright blue background to the orange jazz player really stand out and look like he's moving to a music. To me, the big horn and the tall figure shows the loud and exciting spirit of the London International Jazz Festival, and list the name of the greatest artist in yellow, and they are very easy to read. And this second poster, I use my approach for this poster is mix of structure and soul. Use a grid to show the many layers of the festival. I choose to use my full brand palettes, placing icons like Adawa floors, traditional instruments in colorful squares to create vibrant mosaic. To me, this layout feel like a musical composition where each square is a different note that comes together to play one song. I place a musician like playing the vibraphone at the top of ETHIO Jazz logo is solid black square at the center of the ground. The design and they make it feel like professional by mixing this symbol with a bold color like blue lime and orange. I created a poster that celebrates the reach of rhythm of our heritage in modern way. And for third one, my approach for this poster is to use bold shape and my brand color to show the energy of jazz. On the blue poster, I use bright orange figures to show the movement and musician in full swing. For the orange poster, I focus on large saxophone with the sharp black white contrast to make the design feel modern and loud. Listed my lineup of legends musicians and a clean stack to their names and easy to read at glance. To me, this design use simple visual to tell a big story about rhythm. And this is my poster on mockup, and this is my thought of bags. I create 3 bags. I use same approach like my banner and my posters. And this is my lineup poster. This is my lineup poster. My approach for this lineup poster is to create a gateway to the festival that feels both grand and welcoming. I designed the central image to look like scale stage with a large traditional instrument standing tall in the middle of the show. That's our music is the heart of the events. To me, the bright size of green, orange, and yellow spreading out of from the center feel like the energy of a live crowd and the warmth of the sun. And I use dark black background to make the colorful archive and the eye symbol pop, giving the design sense of mystery and depth by placing the name of the legends like Mulatu Astatke, Haile Mariga, and Aster Awake at the bottom, and make sure the focus stay on the incredible talent we are bringing to the stage. And I feel this design perfectly balances our deep culture history with the bright, bold excitement of a modern jazz festival. And this is my lineup poster on mockup with my 2 poster. Thank you very much.